Welcome back to the Daily Hunt. I'm Henry and I'm a professional trader. I'm a swing trader primarily and an investor. So in these videos every day, I look to provide you guys with some insights and analysis on the market, stock market, cryptos, commodities, the dollar, and also giving you some ideas and tips in terms of what I'm looking at. So it's basically my opinion, my analysis being shared on video format to try and help you guys become profitable just like I am. I am currently in the top 15 traders in the US Investing Championship. I've made around 42% in 2025 so far in stocks and over 150% in crypto. So I know a thing or two about trading and especially about swing trading in difficult markets. In the last few videos, I've shared with you guys what for me was the key for this sell-off and what was going to cause the sell-off. It was mainly these bearish divergences developing on the S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, and also the bullish divergences developing in the dollar, as well as in crypto, there being a double top in Bitcoin and a few other factors that we mentioned in previous videos. I will not go too much into that right now. I want to go into what's been happening since and where we are sitting at today. So let's go straight into the charts, covering the S&P, NASDAQ, the VIX, Russell 2000, my levels, my opinions, my views on why we are where we are and where we will go in the next few days. And then we'll go into crypto and other instruments. Okay, so here you see here the S&P 500 24-hour chart, so the daily chart. I tend to use a 24-hour just in case we can get, especially for stocks, I like to see the outside trading hours to be covered in my candle. Now, when we're looking at this is when I started sharing the last 3 videos about the market and how I expected it to go and retest at least this lower band or the 20-year May. We've reached that level and we've had an instant buy up. One of the charts that I shared was Palantir as the key in this drop. It's been one of the best performing stocks. And as you can see here, yesterday it was rebought. So we've had the sell-off, we've had the buy-up now. But personally, when I look at this chart, I don't see strength, right? So if you look at the previous dips, so you had a move up higher, we traded this one, dip, move up higher, and so on and so on. We've had many dips that have found support at key levels. This one is a very, very significant one because it's broken key structures such as the 20-year May. It's also broken RSI under 50 here, which is key. And we're starting to see the 10-year May go on the 20-year May. Now, I talk about EMAs a lot. That's what I tend to use with my decision making. I do have other tools, but the main thing here is we've broken structure. And I think even if we go a little bit higher, we do a lower high, and then we start seeing maybe a consolidation or a dip further here. So Palantir has been outperforming most of the market. It's been one of the best performing stocks. And also here, I think one of the reasons why it was brought up is this key level. But I just don't see it. I don't see it holding up. Or even if it does, like I said, it will do a lower high and then come back down, especially with RSI at this level. And I think the RSI is due a lower level here. One of the levels that I've identified on Palantir, I think this is very important about the market overall. That's why I'm covering Palantir. And then we'll go into the S&P, is this range here, which is between 38 and, if we go a little bit lower, 35, okay? And then obviously we have 30 underneath that if it becomes really oversold. But this range here, above 30, usually Palantir holds. and it could be 35, it could be 38, it could be 32, 33, but about above 30 usually holds, and then under that we're really looking at a huge sell-off, and I think it gets soaked up, and that'll be the 2022 level it's previously achieved. So even if we extend this 38, you see that it typically bounces. Okay, so we go 38 here. Sorry, I'm drawing this live, so you're not going to get everything smooth, but you're going to get my real analysis live. Okay, so that level there, usually, maybe even a little bit lower, usually is the bouncing zone. So that's what you guys have to identify and watch out for on Palantir. And I think if that bounces there, then we get a market that moves up higher. This becomes another leading stock, and then we get recovery. So for me, I'm just going to place an alert here, and that'll be a key moment for me to watch Palantir and watch the markets. If we go to the S&P again, it's very important we go back to the S&P, I think. Try and figure out what the levels are. So with the S&P, instantly bought up here. I mentioned in previous videos that we probably have rotation going into smaller and medium cap stocks. And if we go to this, you'll see it here again, flowing out of large caps, Tesla, Amazon, etc. Want to make sure that this is the correct one. Yeah. And then going into these smaller, medium caps, going into consumer durables, going into health tech, financials, even if retail, even when we're moving into retail, we're going into Costco and Walmart, so we're going to the defensive plays. So I think we could easily get a consolidation period, and it could be something similar to this December, January 20. And the question is, do we bounce here and go to 6.7K, or do we consolidate here, maybe go a little bit deeper, then go for 6.7K or 7K? So these will be the levels that I see in the market moving forward. So personally, I would love for it to go down a little bit further. That will give it a bigger push, and I think the market will soak it up. It could be institutional players here, such as hedge funds, which have been a bit later in the move, or entering later in the move, potentially dragging the market down and then buying up here. And that's why we can get that 7K move, I think, very easily in the maybe the third and fourth quarter, maybe this quarter. That's what I'm looking at here. Another key for me, key pivot point will be a retest of this trend line, and then if it holds this, so if we break this again, I think we go lower. So right now I'll just add this crossing down. Okay, we've got that as well. So yeah, it's looking good so far. It's supporting here. I don't feel confident buying any stocks at the moment that are going to be risky or growth stocks. I think they will be the ones that will sell off quicker if there is a problem. And then the NASDAQ, if we look at the NASDAQ, we have, okay, so if we look at the NASDAQ now, you'll see a very similar setup. And there is this ascending channel here. It's been tested. However, it's been breached, whereas in the S&P 500, it's been held up. Again, that's related to sector rotation that I mentioned, money flowing into the other 400 or 490 companies in the S&P 500. So there's heavy concentration here in tech, such as NVIDIA and so on. So what I'm actually looking for on the NASDAQ is a breach of the 50 level on the RSI. And we've seen it hold up around this level here. Previous demand So we've seen it just test, graze this area, and it's holding up. We could easily see it come a little bit further down. A general path that I could see for this one is we could potentially go up, come back down, and then go up higher. Okay, that's the bullish scenario. Now the bearish scenario would be up, come back down, retest, come back down. This is a conservative bearish scenario where we see support. But of course, if we get that drop around 8 to 9% in S&P, I think we can get a deeper drop here in the NASDAQ. And again, the RSI is the key. I think if we break the 50 level, then we're probably looking at this level here around 38, and then maybe even lower around 30 or under. So that's something to watch out for. So 50, 38, and then 30. So every 10 points, you're seeing it. You have to monitor it and see where it's going to bounce. That's what I'm looking for in the NASDAQ, the Russell. With the Russell, it sits in around that midpoint on this channel, so it could easily bounce up and move up higher. Again, that could be related to sector rotation, so it can move into smaller caps. Capital can flow from large caps to small caps. It did flow into crypto yesterday, which was very unexpected for me. And this is the level that I'm looking for. If this breaks, then I'm looking for a short. And the short that I'm looking at is TZA. Here you have it. Looks like it's developing very, very nicely. Even today, we have this bullish divergence, a bigger bullish divergence, similar to the IMW chart, or the Russell 2000 chart. And then we have, of course, we're going to get a break of this trend line. As you can see here, trend line broken. This was a key moment that you could have entered. I'll be looking for a little bit higher, maybe. We can trade here, and then if this breaks through, and then we can look at potentially this level for a larger size position, so scaling into the position. The VIX, very, very important in my analysis and my predictions for the markets, overall market. As you can see here, moving up higher today. So I did mention that we have a few levels on the VIX, and the levels were on the weekly, which were around this area here. I felt like we can go to 20. 20 is the key. Okay. If we go to 20 and resist, we are still in a bullish market. If we break that, then we've broken structure completely. So 20 is a level that I would be okay with. Anything above that, 19, 20, then I'm worried. Of course, it could spike up and then sell off again, but anything above 20, I'm worried. It's broken the midpoint here again. It does that quite often, but overall, it's been pretty good. I've mentioned it before that these are levels that we found significant support in the VIX, and that's why we were anticipating a move up higher. Again, it could stay here around 16, 17, but 19, I wanted to reject there, and that would be the market in a decent position to recover without breaking structure too much. Right now, the S&P, if we look at the US 500, is moving down, right? So it's going back for that level retest around 6.34. And again, we can go lower, maybe here, 6.2. Excuse me. 6.2 seems like a level that it could achieve, okay? And again, that level takes us 4%, which is a regular correction, retracement in the market, pullback, whatever you want to call it. It's just a regular level. And again, what I was worried about, and I mentioned in the previous video, was a head and shoulder pattern. And then for the market to crash, that would be something, and I'll draw it on this one. So we do this, and then boom. Right, that would be something that would worry me as a potential scenario, okay? Something like this. That would be complete structure ruined, and reversal, a very, very key reversal here. Maybe we can move even a little bit higher and sooner. That would be unexpected. Okay, so that's something that I'm also looking at. Now, that's with the S&P done. Okay, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, the stock market overall. We kind of have an overview of where everything is. Now I want to go into crypto. So with Bitcoin, I'm seeing weakness. I don't see Bitcoin recovering here just yet. I do see a bit of support around this level. Looks like historical support. 1, 2, 3. So previous resistance becomes support. We also have a level at 110. But I think we can go as low as 89 or 100. I think around 100 is a good level here if we do go short. So maybe we move a little bit higher in these next few days, then we sell off, and we move lower. We have to see. Overall, the market's looking weak today. Yesterday, we had that euphoric buy-in, I think, on key supports for Ethereum and some of the other alts. And we've seen the Bitcoin dominance drop. But I think Bitcoin still controls the situation. And if we look at where Bitcoin is, it looks weak to me. And even if we move up higher, maybe we get that head and shoulder pattern developing. But for me, it looks quite weak. Again, it could be consolidating, but maybe the dip is better, and it's what's needed for that final stage in the bull market after the halving cycle. So the halving cycle happens, I think halving happened in April of last year. So sometime around this period here. Okay. Sometime around this period here. And since then we've had 1, 2 moves, and there's talk about us moving into a third stage, which becomes parabolic, and we go all the way up to 220. Now, I don't know about you, but that to me seems very unrealistic, but it can happen. So 120 will take us for 100% move on Bitcoin. Sorry for the pause there. I just wanted to make sure that I'm saying the correct figure. Around 100% move here on Bitcoin. Personally, I will say that we probably, if we get a dip, or even if we consolidate here, we go to 130, 150, and then maybe that's it. Now, of course, if the FOMO kicks in, the euphoria kicks in, the parabolic move kicks in all those, then yeah, we can go to 200,000. We can even go to 300,000. We don't know, but I will be trading with 130, 150 in mind, but I don't put ceilings on my trades. I always just let them run as much as the trend will go. So we'll see where the market takes us. That's the talk, and we are at that kind of final stage now where it needs to happen before October. So, or maybe mid to late October, it can kind of reach that peak. I don't know. It seems very unlikely at the moment, but it could happen at any time. News, other data can come out. Interest rates being lowered in September. Other factors. Let's see. Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum right now. Ethereum bounced nicely on the 20 in May. Something that I shared in my Discord group was, and I recommend everybody joins that Discord group. It's completely free. There is a paid section, but the free section is also very, very informative. I provide a lot of value for you guys to make some smart decisions. Here you go. It's something like this. So 15% drops after a run up. There you go. That one as well. I think we had this one to around this level. And then, of course, we had this one, which was a bit deeper. And then all of these were around 15 to 12%. So when we run on with Ethereum, we usually get a 30 to 50% move up and a 15% pullback. We're at that level now. Personally, I think we're still in a consolidation phase here. It's a 50-50 coin flip. If we enter here, we could easily go down to 4.1K and then all the way down to 3.7. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, wait it out, see if we get another retest of the 20, 4.1, 4.2K, then see if we break up higher. If that doesn't happen, then we get follow through, going deeper, and we get better entry. So I entered 3.7K, sold at 4.6. That's documented in my Discord group. And then I've been waiting here on this side. I entered a small short around this level of 4.38 at the time, 4.4. And I'm out of that short. And shorting opportunities are looking pretty good as well right now. So there's no rush for me to take any trades to buy up here. I felt like this was just a bounce. It wasn't anything significant or anything that I would want to buy into as a swing trader just yet. Very, very close, but this break here would be the key. And if we look at the full hourly chart, so if we go down a little bit, I tend to not use the full hourly too often, but if we look at it here, there is a bull flag developing. So maybe, ideal scenario, a dip, higher low, bounce around the K level, which coincides with the 20 MA and you know the level that I've drawn here as well. A retest, move up higher, retest, move up higher, break above 4.2, 4.3, enter, and we have more security. So we know that that move has found some sort of support, some sort of demand on the 4 hourly chart, and traders and investors are buying. That's the reason why I'm waiting here. But again, I could enter right here as well. So I'm ready to pull the trigger anytime we get some momentum. And at the moment, this was just an initial pullback. I'm not seeing any follow through momentum just yet. That's Ethereum. Now, if we look at Solana, I mentioned that alts are in a different position. So this has a double top here compared to when we look at July 2025 and August, double top. And then when we look at, for example, Dogecoin, you can see that it's doing a lower high. So structures are very, very different. This is a weak structure here on alts, right? So you would expect it higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. It didn't do that. So this means that we've kind of broken that structure, and it could be a consolidation phase before we move up higher, or we go to lower lows, right? So we continue this consolidation phase, which is destroying retail traders. Every time they get a bit of hope, there's a move up higher, they get destroyed or they get liquidated. I read that 870 million was liquidated at 4,000 for Ethereum. So, you know, that's a lot of money for retail. And I think mainly that would be retail because institutions are just accumulating for the ETFs and long-term positions. Alts are looking weak, but they're looking like they're consolidating, ready for that breakout. Ethereum is looking like it's going to do a bounce, but it could do another mini pullback, support, and then a follow-through momentum play. Bitcoin looks weak. And then if we go into Bitcoin dominance, so with Bitcoin looking weak, maybe it's looking weak because of dominance and dropping, and not because. So investors move from Bitcoin into Ethereum, Solana, etc. For me, it's more of a consolidation at the moment. And I did mention that I would like to see it go up to about 61, maybe a little bit higher here. 62, and then sell off again. And that might give us a trigger. But then if it does break this 59 level, we could also get a bullish move in alts like we did yesterday. So yesterday we had across the board around 5-6 to 7-8%. And today we're getting a bit of a dip around 2%. But across the board we had gains in alts. What I want to look at now is USDT dominance. So I want to see where the dollar is. Then we're going to go into the Dixie, which is the dollar itself. And as you can see, for me, the key trigger was this level being broken, and we've bounced off that level now, and we're seeing it potentially rise again. So what I mentioned in the previous video, and I think I'll re-mention it here, it was that if the dollar rises and we get a sell-off in alts, what we have to look for is the dollar becoming overbought. So there being too much concentration on the dollar, which will probably be around this level here, 4.75 or thereabouts, okay? That's the key level. That if we do achieve that level, then it's time to go back into cryptos, alts, Bitcoin, because the US dollar, USDT dominance will drop. That's what I'm looking for. I think this is a key moment for the market, and I think maybe we get a bit of follow through in the next few days and weeks. So very, very cautious there. That's crypto done. There's no ideas for crypto at the moment. I took a few trades, but they're very, very early. They're very small positions. And I share my watch list in the Discord group, so go and join that. The link is in the description below. So let's go into the final segment, which is analyzing some futures. We're going to be looking at the Dixie. And for me, still the analysis of the last 3 days stands. If we break this level, and we've tried to a few times, 1, 2, the last 2 days, if we break this level, it's a key pivot. It's a key moment where the market moves up higher and we go to maybe 100 plus, okay? Or we go to 99, then 100. That will then cause that drop of around 7-8% S&P, and I think a drop in overall the overall market. It could be a drop in gold. It could also be a drop in crypto. We have to see. But I think this is a key moment here. If this doesn't happen, the opposite happens. We break this trend line, we are going long. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's basically what I'm watching right now. The US dollar strength as combined with obviously the other factors analysis. Natural gas, I mentioned this a few times. Seasonality. Last few videos I mentioned that we should be looking to play natural gas. I've seen some natural gas stocks move really well, 2 to 3% yesterday. And the seasonality play is here. We, on the Discord group, we are looking at the breakout around this level. We retest, come back down, retest, consolidate, and then we break out above. Well, that'll be a key moment to enter. The momentum should probably kick in, and then we can trade some natural gas stocks like LNG and KMI. Gold continues to consolidate. Last 3 days, it's been about just that consolidation in gold. Personally, I think we should go long. I think gold might do well. So in the shorter time frames, it's broken this level. So if we go on a 4 hourly, let's see. There you go. So we've had a break, a retest, a bounce. Gold could go all the way up to 3.4K on this bounce. And then it could find resistance on the daily wedge, which you just saw in the previous chart. So here you go. There you go. So that's something that I'm looking at. Potentially a breakout here above 3.5 could be a key trigger moment for a long position. I did mention in a previous video that this is an early scaling. You buy, I might buy early here and then scale in a little bit later on the move up where I see further momentum. That's it for today. If you're looking for some new ideas and you want to join the Discord group, the link is below. Like I said, I share my watch list. I don't share 20, 30 stocks. I'm sharing very, very particular stocks I'm watching and as and when they pop up on my radar throughout the day. So you're not going to get one list in the morning. You're probably going to get alerts coming in from with my Discord group when I'm looking at that particular stock. It could be just before I'm buying it. It could be I'm looking at it now and I could buy it tomorrow. I could buy it in a few hours, but you're going to be able to see my ideas as and when I alert you guys in the Discord group. You're also going to get market analysis of them like this, maybe more enhanced. You're going to get macro analysis, which I didn't cover here. FMOC minutes, I covered them in the Discord group. So you'll know exactly what I'm preparing for, how I'm watching the CPI data in August. The August CPI data on the 11th of September. So that's what I'm watching out for. And I think then we'll know whether interest rates are coming down or they're going to stay the same in the Fed interest rate decision in September as well, 2 weeks later. So that's the key. Go and see all of my analysis on Discord. Follow me and subscribe to this channel. Like and comment if you enjoyed the content, especially like. The algorithm loves the likes and loves the comments. So leave a comment if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.